Oh my God, guys! You don't even understand what's gonna happen here.
Get what
we talk about softball. We got the dumpster story finally. We go to the Aces game.
But it's like
I ordered a pretzel. It's Easter. It's ridiculous.
Hey, you're on keto.
Let's do this
85
right now.
days. Let's start the podcast. Boo!
Happy or sad, it's story time with two fucking idiots.
So I have a dumpster update for you and everyone else who's been waiting on the edge of their seats.
Dude, thank God. Like you haven't even told me what it is yet.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful to be here. So go ahead.
Okay, so I am happy to say that the dumpster is no longer in my driveway, and I believe I won that battle. So take that, budget dumpster. That's the company, just in case you wanted to know.
Oh shit, are we one-starring them right now? 1 out of 5? What's up?
To be honest though, I told you in the last pod that they promised to come on Monday to pick up the dumpster. And they did not show up until Tuesday to take it.
No,
so,
of course.
So one of the weird things out here on Monday, for some weird reason, it was like kind of chilly over the weekend, and it like blizzarded here for like 17 minutes, and it was super windy, and it was literally like looking outside, it was like a snow globe, like just crazy fucking wind. So I kind of didn't expect them to come get it, just because out here the fucking wind can whip and like it closes down the highways and stuff, because it's like we're in a valley, so like I don't know, fucking pressure systems do their thing and wind becomes stronger.
Smart people stuff. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no idea. So I kind of didn't expect it, but that did not stop me from sending one more like Karen-esque email.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember specifically, but I'm pretty sure I started it out with like, once again I'm lied to. Like
I just feel like you guys had a super toxic relationship, and there was a lot of gaslighting going on.
Oh,
and
for
it's
sure.
like,
for sure.
I'm just happy that you have finally moved past it. And you know what, bitch? You are strong, you are smart, and you matter. Okay,
I believe. Thank you.
And I'm proud of you.
I demanded money back for like 6 emails in a row. Like I'm really not that guy, but I was so annoyed by that situation that I was if I don't get money back, like I lose somehow. Like So I demanded like full refund, like just crazy shit that I knew that I probably wasn't gonna get.
Sure.
But they did offer me $50 off, and I took that sumbitch.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Steph was like, $50, that's it? We should have gotten more. And I agree. I held on to that dumpster for fucking 17 days, whatever the hell it was. I agree we should have gotten more money off. But I also did not want them to be like, oh, you want more? Well, why don't you just hold on to it for another month and we'll fucking think about it. You know what I mean? I was like, I'll take the 50 if that means you'll fucking take it off my hands, please.
Yeah, you got to walk that delicate line of like not getting screwed over more, but also getting exactly what you want. And
exactly. So that is the dumpster follow-up. I got emailed specifically by Chris Graham to ask me. He wanted an update right away. I told him, how I felt about it, but I kind of just hinted, hey, you're gonna have to wait for the next pod. So,
of course,
I felt really weird. I actually described the story to people and then didn't tell them how it ended, and I was like, I'm a douche. Like I'm literally like, if you want to know the rest, subscribe to our Patreon. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. $2 a month gets you plenty of extra content. But speaking of which, someone must have heard your story and wanted the follow-up, because we're back to 89, motherfucker.
I know!
Dude.
We had 89 and then 88, and then we bitched about it for like 6 minutes, and somehow...
Listen.
Do you think it was the person that left?
No, I think that it was Mike Finch, and he admitted to being an unsubscriber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to call a spade, which Is that technically racist? I don't know if that's like,
Just
are we
move
not
on.
allowed to say that word?
Just
I
move on.
feel
No one knows.
super
No one knows.
uncomfortable. Ever since that fucking Archie Bunker episode that you showed me where he's talking shit to a black guy, I don't know what I'm allowed to say anymore. Okay? The other day on Saturday night I was working at the bar and this band played and they were really good. But then afterwards, one of their fans got on and was like, Ollie, Ollie, oxen free. Whatever I don't know the words to that song. Those were the days. And I'm like, where are we going with this, guys? What is is it close?
It's
I don't
By
know.
the way, Glenn Miller played songs that made the hit parade. Guys
Songs that made the hit parade.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Whoever's listening to this right now is like, please shut the fuck up.
Jeremy's laughing about this for sure.
Oh,
Jeremy
God.
thinks it's hilarious because we used to watch that show as children for some reason.
And then at the end, the guy goes, pay your taxes and shut the hell up. And I'm like, can we finish the performance, please?
Yeah.
I don't need a class war in here. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey everyone, welcome back to the pod.
Welcome back.
This is the 77th episode.
Wow. Well,
we stopped mentioning episode numbers a long time ago. I just feel like we should mention it because I sometimes forget about what episode it is.
I was gonna say the Seventh Heaven episode, but that guy kind of tarnished the name of that show. So
no one knows what you're talking about.
You never watched Seventh Heaven?
I don't even know. Was that the Chad
With
Michael
Jessica
Murray
Biel?
one? Fuck no, that's the
I think that's
One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill. Yes.
Yeah. Steph was a fan of all of those shows, so I do this thing that annoys her, which is that list is ever growing.
Yeah.
But she'll watch like Gilmore Girls, and I'll be like, "Oh, is this Dharma and Greg?" Like I'll say a name of a show that is not that show because I
Is this
don't know
two
any
guys,
of the shows.
one girl in a pizza place? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, that show obviously was kind of like a smash for a couple years, I guess.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Jessica Biel, I'm assuming. That's the main reason I watched it. But
I never watched that
So-
show. That show was like popular in our like circles though, but only with girls for the most part, I thought. But maybe that was
all
just
right.
No, I'm not saying you're a girl. I'm just saying like in general, I was watching Sports Center and Baseball Tonight on nonstop on a loop when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, and you wonder why I fell asleep so fast at fucking sleepovers. You're like, oh, we got to catch the Cubs replays for the third time in the last hour.
Yeah, I used to watch that show way too much. Anyway, hey man, how's it going? What's up?
It's going well, dude. I had a super long weekend.
Yeah, good
We're
Easter?
actually, yeah, it was nice. I mean, Easter for me is I worked. I worked at Lamb's for my mom. You know,
Sure.
they host that Easter brunch, and we were super short staffed this year. She was, I say we.
Yeah.
And so I actually took Sawyer on Friday, and
Uh-oh.
he worked a little bit.
What did he do? Dishwash? Because I feel like that's the
No.
only thing he could probably do. What?
No, dude, he would last 5 seconds washing dishes. He is
What do you mean?
not-
He'd have like a hose. He'd be like, ah, like just
Exactly, bro. We'd have like Navy veterans who are volunteering, like falling over and busting their heads open. And Sawyer would be like, "I oofed you," because that's what he's not. I don't let him say he killed people in video games. So they say oof apparently, because in Minecraft they go oof when they die. It doesn't
hilarious.
matter. Okay,
That's hilarious.
But anyway, he how do I put this? You know, and we've talked about this a little bit, but like,
Yeah.
I grew up in a pretty middle class fam, you know, like pretty
Sure.
blue collar. Grew up on a farm. By the time I was 7, I was like shoveling horse shit, and I was like buff
Yeah.
from like moving around wheelbarrows. And Sawyer is just like, you know, he's my
Pampered.
sweet boy. He is a little pampered, I guess you could
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And he also, like, on the other side of his family, on his mom's side, they just have more money than we do in general.
Sure.
So he's kind of used to some nicer things in life, like a couple vacations a year. They've got their own RV, like,
Yeah.
and I'm happy for him because those are all things I always wanted growing up.
Yeah.
I'm not jealous, okay, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But but he definitely does not really like to work very hard.
Yeah.
So I didn't think he was going to have a lot of fun. But you know what? He rolled up them bootstraps or whatever, and he got in there and got his hands dirty.
Nice.
By that I mean he like poured some waters. You know, when people would sit at the table, he would come with me to the table.
That's
I would
awesome.
pour some coffee. You know, give people the hey. This is where you get your food, drinks over there. If you need anything else, let us know.
Yeah.
And then everyone would be like, who's this guy? And I'm like, he doesn't even fucking know what he's doing. I'm helping him pour the water. I'm right here. Okay.
Like,
I'm talking
going to
to you.
oof you if you pay attention to him more than me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. I
so-
think Steph and Sam are like you. Like, you're super hardworking. Those two are just undeniably, like, first of all, their family in general is just super helpful, and I
dude.
am an asshole.
Well,
Like, Steph will just help anybody and work super hard, and I'll be like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't know. I've gotten to the point in my life where I just don't want to. I don't want to not help because I'm a helpful person, but I don't want to work either. And sometimes Steph wants to work so much more than me, and I'm like, you're making me look so bad right now. I hate this.
The thing is, like, Steph could be miserable helping someone.
Yeah.
But you'd have no idea.
Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, I would love to do that. Honestly, I hate these jeans. I figured rolling around in mud to help you stay clean. Oh, that's great. That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
You'll help everyone. You'll help anyone. You'll
Yeah.
give your shirt off your back.
Yeah.
But if it's cold out and you give someone your shirt, they're going to know you're not happy that you're cold. You know what I mean?
For
You're gonna be
sure.
like, it's fucking cold out here. You know?
Exactly.
Steph would be like, oh, it's kind of warm for December, isn't it?
Yeah, she'd be like, you know what? If I move my body around, I actually don't feel the cold, and the frostbite doesn't even feel like anything. Yeah,
I needed to burn some calories today. So
she is so fucking helpful, and so are you.
Yeah.
Like, you grew up in that. So, like, I feel like you shoveling poop as like a fucking 7-year-old.
Yeah.
You don't want that for Sawyer because you
No.
know that wasn't that much fun to deal with, right?
yeah.
So you want
Well-
something more for him that's like, relax. But I see what you're saying, though.
Sure, it's a little of both. It is. I definitely am like so happy for him that he doesn't have to go. I try hard to not put him through the things that I went through
Sure.
as a kid. I mean, there's plenty of time for me to develop some sort of like traumatic addiction or something before he gets older, which I've been toying with, because if he wants to be a stand-up comedian or an actor like he says he does, he's got to have some shit deep down that kind of stifles his emotional growth. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. Just every once in a while, just got to put him in his place. That way he kind of internalizes a lot of feelings, doesn't say them until he's like 19, and then he's on stage. And yep. You got this figured out, man. Don't worry about it.
Breakdown or two, and he's winning an Emmy or whatever. So
yeah, no, that's awesome, dude.
how was your? But yeah, that was mostly my week in a nutshell. Had some crazy customers that were like, "Are we gonna get fat at some time today, honey?" That's how she talked to her.
Jewish New York ladies.
Yeah, they were at least pretending to have that accent for sure.
Yeah.
And it was good if you could tell by mine. But
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I heard her look at the buffet at one point. She's like, "Well, at least the food looks organized." And I'm like, "Oh shit, this lady."
What
so then,
food isn't organized? What the
no. Well, so
mean?
they have
Every
like
other buffet
10
I go to, they got macaroni and salad put together. I don't even know what actually
geez.
macaroni salad is pretty good, actually. That's
That
not
is
bad.
pretty delicious, honey child. But she then was like, I walked in the back, and Beth came back, and like 50 people showed up at the same time. So we were trying to get everyone sat, and it was a clusterfuck, of course, because there's like no, in the restaurant business especially, if everything goes smoothly, it's like wasn't a successful event, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be 20, and you remember from when we worked at Blackthorn, like if there isn't at least 20, if some girl doesn't accidentally serve a 7-year sober alcoholic guy a real beer instead of an NA beer, you know what I mean? Like then it's not a successful night.
Honestly,
so she's like,
after you're done with that, if you're not like that was a pretty crazy day. Like,
yes,
that what makes it fun. Like, because you went through
payoff,
hell
yeah.
and like a craziness to get through it. So that's funny.
So yeah, she was like, "Can you just go up front and just tell them, because I can't talk to these people again. They're so mad at me." So I walk up. I'm like, "Hey guys, we've got 4 or 5 tables just about ready. We're gonna try to get everybody sat all at once. Just give us 1 more minute and we'll be good." And she's like, "Well, thanks for at least coming up here and finally telling us something." And I'm like, "Okay, lady." She complained about the gluten-free dessert options at one point too. I was like, "Of course you did."
Yeah, what? She's awesome.
She's like, "Hey, tell your mother we need some more gluten-free desserts next year."
Is she
'Cause
Mark
I told
Wahlberg
her-
now?
Yeah. She's like, "Say hi to her for me too." So
That's hilarious.
anyway, I was excited to run into that. I'm like, "Oh, of course. I'll work on that just for you."
Yeah.
Peggy.
Honestly, do you, in this moment, like with having a moderately successful podcast, when you meet people like that, are you like, yes?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
When there's something that happens, I'm like, oh, yes. I have
yeah.
like too many stories over the last like 4 days to try to get into this podcast. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but
Let's go. Let's run them.
All right. So Easter, we went to an Reno Aces baseball game, which is the minor league affiliate for the Diamondbacks. And because it's minor league, you pay $28 and you actually set the lineup for each team. Like, it's ridiculously cheap. You can sit super close. So we sat like 4 rows back from like the backstop right next to the visitor dugout. It was very cool.
Sure.
Like, the game itself, kind of boring. It was literally 1-0 and there was like 7 total hits. Like, it was kind of boring. The Aces won. I have no affiliation to them. I could give a fuck about them. I was rooting for them just because, whatever.
Sure, you're a homer.
Yeah, I did buy a hat that is 4.5 inches too big for me.
You know what? I
yeah.
was gonna say you look a little dumber. Like your brain shrunk or something. Like your head's smaller.
No, we'll get to that at some point. Maybe I can shrink it. I don't know how it works.
Sure.
But we sat really close, and like in like the 3rd inning, the opposite or the visitors were batting, and that's our dugout, and there was like a kind of a shitty strike 3 call in my opinion. Like, I played baseball my whole life. It was kind of low. Whatever.
Sure.
And it was to end the inning. So the dude just kind of like, not pleased with that performance, softly threw his helmet down, basically. Yep. And a part of his helmet kind of like clipped off. Like, I don't know if it was like the face shield part, because every player pretty much has one of those now. But something came off, and the umpire, like, I don't know if that was the reason or he just hated the mullet that guy had. He just tossed him from the game. He was like, "You're out of here." And like, it was kind of like, it was weak on a scale of like 1 to all the crazy ejections I've ever seen in my life. So the player kind of turned around and he was like, "What?" And right in the middle of the silence between "you're out of here" and the "what," Mary Roberts, I'll just say it. She's listening.
What up, Mary?
Yeah. So it's "you're out of here," and then "what?" And then she just like stood up and yelled, "It's Easter!" Like, it was the funniest like comment to make, because it had nothing to do with like the game, but for some reason her tone made it seem like, be nice to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what she was trying to say in that moment.
Let me guess. The ump and the player were like, "You know what? You're right, lady. Hey, you have a blessed day. I'll see you next time."
I think he gave him a Cadbury egg when he walked away. I'm pretty sure. And I don't know why, but it was objectively funny to me. And I probably said the words "it's Easter" 100 fucking times yesterday because it was so fucking funny to me.
Hey, it was Easter. You
like,
know what I
like,
mean?
everybody in our group basically said it at one point or another at some point during the day. Like, somebody's like, "Oh, can you give me a drink? I don't want any ice." And somebody's like, "It's Easter." Like, it's just people were using it as a punchline randomly. It was awesome.
I don't want to be the person who uses it the one time times too many. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it'll probably be in like a way, because you guys are all friends, but you work together. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be like the owner is gonna be coming in and everyone's gonna be freaking out and they're gonna be like, "Where is this?" And you're gonna be like, "It's Easter." And you're like, "You're fucking fired. Easter was 3 weeks ago. Shut the fuck up."
It was really fun.
Dude,
So,
that's funny. That is really funny.
Yeah, she's hilarious. After the game, we went to like an outdoor bar where they where we saw the two fakest tits I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. They were both fake?
Dude, they
The
were
whole pair?
like, imagine like snow globes under like a sweater. Like you would be like, those are obviously super hard and super round.
Yeah.
Like what is going? There's no jiggle, no nothing.
Oh yeah.
So I made that a point to point out like to everybody that lady was like a Barbie. It was kind of funny.
Jordan.
What's up?
It's Easter, bro. You can't be doing that, okay?
Yeah, basically. So we go to the outdoor bar, we hang out there, then we went out for dinner later on, and it was like, I didn't expect the day to last like as long as it did, but it was honestly one of my most like fun days out here in Reno. It was very fun. The weather was amazing. It was Easter, in case you weren't aware.
Yeah, if no one knows what time it was.
Yeah, it was really good. But at the Aces game, I ordered. So I've been keto for like 80 fucking days in a row. Like, like
honestly,
maybe
I saw a picture of you at the game.
Yeah,
you were down at the end of the row.
Yeah,
looking pretty trim, my friend. Looking pretty good.
So keto, like pretty strict. Maybe like one or two meals out of that was like I snuck a fry or something like that. You know what I mean? But I go to the game, it's $1 hot dogs, and it is Easter, everyone who said that at the same time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have fun at the game. So I ate way too much shit that I shouldn't have. But I was like...
You drank a Pepsi, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I had a couple of hot dogs, and I was like, you know what? I saw that pretzel with cheese. That was like my fucking kryptonite when I was like a little kid. So I get up and I'm like, you know what, Steph? I'm gonna go get a pretzel with cheese. Like that fucking sounds amazing to me. So she's like, give me some nachos, and then I had to go get her a mimosa, which is ridiculous. But
we're talking pretzels here, Steph. Yeah. Get the fuck over yourself.
So I go up to the concession stand. This kid that is taking my order, he kind of looks like he's like seen one too many like fucked up fans or something. Like he wasn't all there to me. And he was like, okay, so your total is whatever. And he's like, do you want a receipt? And like, I never want a receipt because it's just garbage to me. Like I'm never going to look back on this day and be like, what do you mean he overcharged me? Like I just never care about that stuff. So I was like, no, I'm good, man. No worries. And then he was like, oh, we actually don't have any pretzels. We need to wait like 10 minutes for a pretzel to be cooked. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I was like, I'll just come back in like 10 minutes. I was like, can I have a receipt? That way, like, whatever. And he was like, I already asked you if you wanted one and you said no. I don't know if it was like coming off of the dumpster situation, but I was basically like, I ordered a pretzel. You did not tell me that the pretzel wasn't ready. I'm going to need a receipt.
I'm going to need a receipt, bud.
Yeah, literally. So he eventually figures out that he can print out another receipt for me. Yeah. So he gives it to me, and like I just went back to I went back to my seat, and I was literally like 8 minutes, and I'm getting that pretzel. Like I was fucking jacked, man. I was so annoyed.
Dude, these dumpster people don't realize that this is like a bad guy origin story.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like you're gonna be Mr. Karen.
Yeah, right? Yeah. No, I was just like,
I hope so.
I was like, dude, I was trying to be super nice. I just don't want to come back up here and have you be like, you look like all the other bearded guys that I've seen.
Yeah.
How do I know you're the one that ordered the pretzel? And then I'm going to have to fucking make a stink about it because the pretzel's like $12. Like I want my pretzel. And so what happened was that I actually came back with my receipt, talked to somebody else because that dude was out of fucking a different planet. And then they didn't even ask me for my receipt. And they gave me a pretzel. And then I started thinking, I'm going to get free pretzels for the rest of my life.
Forever,
I'm just going to come back up here and be like, yeah, I wasn't ready. I think, and the cheese. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That kid was probably thinking, he's like, listen, guy, there's 7 people here. I know them all by name. I know you're going to... I know who you are. Just come get the fucking pretzel.
Literally. Right? I don't know,
but
man.
He didn't realize he didn't realize how much that pretzel meant to you. You know,
I should have been like, normal, I've been 80 days keto. Give me the fucking pretzel.
Yeah, I'll eat it frozen. God damn it, just hand it over.
So I get back to my seat. I dropped the receipt on the ground because it must have slipped out of my hand or something because I didn't need it anymore. And the lady in front of me picks it up and she's like, she turns around and she's like, hey, I don't want to be rude, but I heard the pretzel scenario, and I wanted to make sure you had this receipt in case you needed to go back. And I was like, no, lady, I already got my pretzel. I really appreciate it.
You're like, hey, but you take that up there and get your own pretzel, lady. What's up?
I was actually thinking kind of embarrassed that I made I told the story at the seat basically, and I told it just the way I am now, so loud and stupid and fucking saying a bunch of mean things, and she was probably like, this dude is a fucking lunatic. I don't know. I hope he never has a dumpster in his house for a month and a half because he's gonna lose it.
He's gonna lose his mind. That was her son working at the fucking
probably.
She's like, fucking Keith again,
the pretzel
arguing
guy.
over receipts, you son of a bitch.
Just when he looked at me and he was like, I asked you and you said no. I was like, I didn't know that the pretzels weren't ready. I was going off the assumption you guys know how to do your job. I'm just saying.
This is an episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Or even better, Doug Heffernan.
Yeah.
This is fucking, you're like, I didn't have all the information before you. Now I do. I'd like a receipt, please.
Yeah, literally. So, man, fucking crazy. Softball. Wait, do we have time? We're 25 minutes in. You want to wait for softball after this?
No, let's hear about it, honestly, because I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to hear about, you guys fumbled the bag a little bit in the first week, but from what it sounds like, you guys have great chemistry.
Yes,
so I'm assuming
I agree.
you worked together to come back and even up your record at 500, maybe 1-1.
So I just have to be honest, and I just have to, come clean. I may have overestimated our softball prowess for this year. The first game, you're right, we barely lost, but we gave up a shit ton of runs. But we hit okay. It wasn't too bad. This game, we lost 18-2, and we got mercy ruled. It was the fifth inning, and because we were losing by 15 or whatever, the guy was like, game over. And so that was super embarrassing. Wow. We made
the most.
I don't know, 49 errors in 5 innings basically. We maybe hit 2 or 3 hard hit balls. We scored 2 runs, but we literally had to manufacture those runs. We had to get the guy over and then sacrifice fly him in. That's literally how we scored the runs. So the first inning we actually scored 1 run, and it was basically exactly how I just said it. So I was like, all right, 1-0, no problem.
Good situational softball, yeah.
They come up to bat. First of all, the first batter was a left-handed girl, and I was playing first base, and I was terrified, honestly.
Yeah.
Just playing in the infield in general is kind of scary, and then when somebody comes up that obviously knows what they're doing, is a horrible feeling because you're she's gonna rip it right to me, and it's gonna hit me in the crotch for sure. Luckily, she dribbled it to me, and I got her out. So the first inning, we didn't give up any runs.
Boom.
So I was like, cool, 1-0. Good defense, everyone. Even though we had literally 3 errors in that inning. And then
shutout, though? It's a shutout?
No idea what happened after that. They scored, I think, 12 runs in 1 inning. It was no one had any. I don't think there were even really that many bad plays. We just couldn't catch or just get an out. Yeah, get an out. Steph had a play in the outfield where a big guy on our team, they were both converging for the same ball, and Steph made a diving catch, and somehow they didn't run into each other. I have no idea how, but I was like, Steph, you're really lucky you didn't run into him. And she's like, he wasn't running that hard. And I was like, he has a lot more inertia than you do.
Yeah, you don't get it. Okay.
You would have run into a brick wall, and you would be in the hospital at this point if that was the case.
Steph's thinking she would have lowered that left shoulder and knocked him off his fucking feet. You know,
and then
Steph's
somehow carried him back to the dugout. She'd be like, "Oh,
flipped him
don't
over
worry, I got
onto
it."
the back. He's like,
Yeah,
how
dude.
are you giving me a piggyback ride? She's like, I do it all the time.
Yeah, man. So I have real doubts about this team at this point, and
How'd the other team play?
I think they got destroyed as well. So in 2 weeks we play each other, and it's basically I am very nervous about the rest of this season.
I don't want to say that I like hexed you or jinxed you by any means, but
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for this, honestly. So
Man.
I'm rooting for the Plainfield Pussy Farts or whatever their name is. I don't know what they're called, but
man, I am very humbled, honestly. Mary Roberts came up to me in like the third inning. We're losing 12-1, and she's like, "So I'm gonna need you to delete some podcasts because you." I was like, I agree at this point.
I'm rethinking my whole fucking idiot right now because Mary Roberts sounds like she might need to take my place on the pod, and I'll just start listening, dude. This sounds great.
She could bring it for sure, man. She somehow gets our stupidity.
That's so weird too, because honestly, like, and I don't know besides the fact that she's married to someone that you work with, a very specific person that you work with.
Yeah,
I'm like, if she like her listening to this podcast could have really gone the other way, dude. Like, if we're being honest, I could imagine there's some, people who listen to this podcast and are like, I better unsubscribe. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure there are some people in my like circle that are like, that's gonna bite him in the ass one day. Somebody's going to find out about that that he described peeing in a garbage can in the third episode, and it's gonna get him. It's gonna get him regardless.
I got one more thing before we get to fucking idiots because I just said the P word, which always makes me feel gross, but it's like sometimes I try to throw it out there because I'm hoping it'll be funny. Yeah, it just gives me the shivers. Well, so I'm sitting on the couch. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I'm sitting on the couch the other day with Sawyer, and we're like watching YouTube, fucking, of course, because that's all kids like these days. I'm like, we have Minecraft downstairs. Like, let's just go play it. I don't give a shit what Preston's doing. Yeah. It's like, okay, unspeakable gaming. I could do this. Okay. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so we're just like watching, and I think I was finishing up working from home, and he's like, Dad, what does pussy mean? And I'm like,
holy crap.
Yeah, like, it could not find words for like 3 seconds. I'm like, where did you hear that?
That's a good response.
Did you hear that? Yeah.
I felt like I would have been like, well, Urban Dictionary, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
If you
be like, well,
up.
Listen, like, if she's really giving it back to you, it's no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so, and I'm like, where'd you hear it? He's like, well, this kid Eddie at school, is friends with fucking Eddie, of course. It's like, he's friends with Bennett, and Bennett is like Sawyer's toughest friend. He thinks Bennett can beat me up, which is like the second time in my life I've ever wanted to fight a 7-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the first time I wasn't 7, so I'll just put that out there. I'm not going to get any more details. But he's like, but Bennett is afraid of Eddie, so he always like runs away when Eddie comes around. But it's like funny. They're joking because they're friends.
Sure.
And so he was like, Eddie, why does Bennett run away from you? And he's like, because he's a pussy. And I'm like, and so I was like, what's a pussy? And Eddie was like, a scaredy cat. And I was like, okay, thank God. We've also had the conversation because Sawyer likes to go do the hiya. Like, can I get a hiya? And he's like, this girl in 3rd grade told me that means girls' private parts. And I'm like, nah.
Oh, dude.
Oh, shit. You're 7. Why is this starting already?
Can you think of moments in your childhood that you were like, that was a cringe moment? Like, let me explain my situation. And
let's hear it.
So, you know, the Real Slim Shady, I think it's Real Slim Shady. That's when he says, Eminem says, let me sit next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst and her argue over who she gave head to first, right? That's the Christina Aguilera, I think is what he's talking about.
I think he's talking about our girl Christina.
Obviously, we had like, edited versions in my life, but somehow I found out what he actually says there, but I didn't know what that meant. Like, I had no idea what he was trying to say. But I went up to like a camp counselor who was probably like 26, and I was like, I know what he says. Fucking some snotty remark that I said.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? And then I just said head. And then I didn't know what that meant. And I'm sure she was like, what the fuck is my job now? Like, I think about that moment like once a month and how fucking embarrassing.
Yeah,
and like,
sure.
I didn't know what it meant, but I knew the word, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know why I even wanted to say it to her. Like, it wasn't obviously a sexual thing. I just wanted to prove that I knew the lyrics or something. I don't know what the fuck, but I'm sure she thinks about that once a month. If she doesn't, she's lying fuck. She's a liar.
She's a bitch. She's a fucking bitch. So I learned, I had an idea of what sex was pretty young. I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Because my dad had Playboys. And so he'd be like, stay here, I'm going to run down. And he lived in an apartment at that time before he moved on to the farm. He'd be like, stay here, I'm going to just run down and check the laundry. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And so while he was gone, I would crack open a Playboy and just, and he had some classics. So I was looking at like nipples and muff, just like muff galore, dude. I was all about it. And he had the classic, like the Playboy channel was fucked up, but it was like, it would be all static, and then randomly there'd be like boobs for a second, and then it'd be static again. And and one time, I swear to God, he came in, I was like 5 years old, and caught me looking at a Playboy.
Yeah.
And I hit him with the classic, I was reading the articles, like as a 5-year-old. I never heard that before. So
that's hilarious.
Just hit him with the classic response. So then I got a girlfriend at like 6.5 or something like that.
Sure.
Jenny.
Sure.
Who lived down the street to the left, right at the end of Short Street.
On the block.
And on the block. Yeah. Don't be fooled. Okay. So we're like kissing in her front ditch right next to the road, dude. Like we thought we were covered, right? So we're just like quote unquote making out, but it's just like smooches, we're just like smooching.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, I feel so fucking weird about this now. It's so embarrassing. I'm like, should we have sex? Yeah, dude. 6 years old, bro. And she's like, yeah, sure. What do we do? And I didn't really know. Yeah. I didn't really know what sex was. I just knew the word from reading the Playboys.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, you for sure. The first thing you do, which I know for sure, because I know exactly what I'm talking about right now, is you take your shirt off. And like literally in a kind of submerged culvert in the front of her yard, like you could see what was going on. She got her shirt to like nipple height, and I panicked, and I'm like, just kidding, never mind. No, we're not gonna do that. And then her dad was like, Jenny, get inside.
Oh no.
And to this day, I'm like, oh, one of the most like uncomfortable, like, what was I gonna do when I had her shirt off in front of the whole neighborhood? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She has to think about that. She has to think about that moment.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I've always been maybe like, I've always kind of been a gentleman. I don't want to toot my own horn, but
sure.
I've been, I've gotten compliments on my consent, you know what I mean, over the years. So.
Yeah, you've stayed out of many ditches since then.
Yeah, well, because I don't want to have that moment again where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing or we're doing.
That's hilarious.
Can we just stop, please?
Oh my gosh, that's so
gosh.
funny. I hate being a kid.
Yeah, dude.
It's not Sawyer's fault, man. He just doesn't understand, and he's like not smart enough to know that he doesn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it sucks,
exactly.
But he's going to make some stupid remarks. Oh, it's going to be great.
Oh, God. I'm not excited for him to, like, make me mad.
Speaking of that, we're 40 minutes in, basically. I don't know why I said speaking of that. We're not talking about anything. And it's time for... Fucking Idiot of the Week.
That guy's a fucking idiot.
All right. Oh,
God, I'm awesome at that.
I'm going first. Okay, sounds good.
Okay, cool. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
Wait. Time out.
What's up?
Is that like a Price is Right shirt that you're wearing?
This is a Ted Lasso shirt, bro.
Oh, dude, you didn't even know who Ted Lasso was before you met me, bro.
That is 100% true.
Because it wasn't a thing. I got to watch the second season, though. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, all right.
I'm gonna cry. Go ahead.
June 2019, a gentleman named Steve Wilson. He's my fucking idiot, just so you know. I don't know his age. For some reason, they didn't put it in there. I'm just gonna say he's 52. He looked kind of like he was 52. He was on Facebook and saw a friend's daughter who needed a kidney, and she was able to receive one, and it like saved her life. You know, that's pretty important to those folks. And
it is.
So he became like super emotional about it. He felt like very, passionate and very like, you know what, I can make a difference. Maybe, I don't know. And somehow it stuck with him. It's too cold for me to help. I can't, I don't know. But so he became emotional. 3 or 4 days later, he's like, he still felt like the passion that he felt. And so he actually elected to remove one of his kidneys or donate one of his kidneys, not just be like, I don't need this fucking thing.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, electively chose to give it away to somebody he doesn't know, which is insane. Like most of those stories are like a family member or somebody's in need and then somebody steps up. But this dude was just like, you know what? I've had 2 kids, the kidneys my whole life. I don't need both of them. I'm just going to get rid of one. So, it takes like 2 weeks out of your life. I'm not like, it's not like an infomercial for people to get rid of their kidneys, but
sure.
It's like a 2-week process from like the surgery to recovery, basically. He did the surgery in New York. They immediately flew it out all the way to the West Coast, which to me, I was thinking like there isn't a closer kidney need near him. Yeah. Like they had to fly it across the fucking country.
Couldn't they keep it in like the best refrigeration unit, which is his own body, and he could have gotten it taken out in the West Coast?
Yeah, for real. I was just like, nobody in North Carolina needs their kidney. Like, dude, you're closer. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe somebody like paid for it. I have no idea. So he gives it to this person he doesn't know. They never meet each other, and this is not a story where they like meet fucking 20 years later. But it's just a story of this dude doing something really cool to help somebody. I, again, will not.
No.
But the other thing about it is that to prove that this wasn't like a one-off and like he's not going to be like a fucking, I don't know, lazy piece of shit. Him and a bunch of other donor people. I don't know if you just like get a card or something and you join like some sort of cult with them. Him and a bunch of people, they actually summited Mount Kilimanjaro on March 10th, which is National Kidney Day, which is, they had to have planned that, right? There has to be.
Nah.
So Kilimanjaro is a dormant volcano in Tanzania. It's the 4th largest mountain in the world. 19,341 feet, which is insane. I don't know if I could do that with both kidneys at this point. That's insane.
I have a hard time getting to the top of the stairs, if I'm being honest.
So Steve Wilson, my fucking idiot. Really cool story. Obviously, on top of it, just like threw his dick on the table and was like, yeah, and I climbed a mountain. What the fuck have you done? My one thought, though, is have we considered that you just may need one kidney in order to climb Mount Kilimanjaro? You know what I mean? Like maybe 2 is just too much. 1, you have just enough and you can kind of, you're lighter, obviously. You at least 2 or 3 pounds.
Easier.
I don't know how
probably
much a kidney.
do.
Yeah. So I think he's a little bit of a cheater in that sense, but that's my fucking idiot. Steve Wilson donated a kidney for no fucking reason and also climbed a mountain for no reason as well, just to rub it in everybody's face.
Really, really sounds like he doesn't even deserve 2 kidneys. So I'm kind of glad.
I'm wondering what he's donating right now. He's literally having his arm removed, and he's like, you know what? I've had both arms my whole life. I'll just get rid of one. We'll see what happens. Now he's like he's in a ping pong competition, fucking beating everyone.
Him and Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
he's like he's probably got like his dick is too big. He's like donating a couple inches of that, like Locks for Love. You know what I'm saying? It's just what a guy he is.
I don't know if I could be friends with him. I would be like, Steve, stop bringing up the kidney. We get it.
Well,
You're
yeah, and it's
fucking
like
super nice. We understand. I'll get the tab, I guess. Okay, sorry.
all of his friends' wives probably want to bang him now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's really my goal, and not you. Like, I'm not talking about you and your wife.
Yeah.
But I just want like wives to want to bang me. I'm not gonna bang anyone's wives. I just want all of them to want to bang me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I think you should
So-
probably be like a pool cleaner or a gardener or
Yeah.
something. That tends to happen in the movies.
If I tried to wear a Speedo right now, my body would it would be like Patrick Star wearing a Speedo. You know, the back half would disappear into my cheeks. But anyways.
All right, sounds good.
My fucking idiots this week, again,
Uh-oh.
are kind of homegrown. And it's really just like, and we've talked about these people a lot, and I just think they'll really appreciate that. And you know what? I really hope, I have a feeling that one of these people has been a fucking idiot before, but I hope not. I can't remember because I have the worst memory in the history of the world. But
Yeah.
this week it goes out to a couple of friends who are working hard.
Mm-hmm.
Getting married this summer. Got a
Yeah.
lot coming up.
Yep.
And have not only taken on the role of like trying to get ready and getting in shape, but like really owning it and stepping their game up. Have I done this already?
No. I know who you're talking about though because
Stuke
I am
and
smart.
Danielle. I had to say it before you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stuke and Danielle. I'm so happy for them in general. They're both like living fulfilling lives, and they've made a commitment to their health and have really been doing it correctly. And I know we've talked about them a lot and even mentioned the working out, but it's like it's really inspiring to see people just decide to start doing something and then already to be successful with just some consistent hard work.
Sure.
It makes me feel like I can do it, you know, it really does. And so for being an inspiration, I just wanted to give them a shout out and say, mostly Danielle, but I guess a little bit Stuke too for doing writing down every rep of every workout and knowing where to start the next time and like being like, let me reference last week's chest. Sorry, he talks like that, obviously, because he's a huge nerd. But
sure.
he's like, let me go back in my journal and check how much I did last week. But yeah, that being said, you're trying a little hard, okay, Stuke? Like, come off it a little bit. I get it. All you watch are fitness TikToks now, okay?
Yeah.
Eat a cheeseburger, for Christ's sake, you know?
No, I agree, man. Those two are the I mean, Don't Wake Daddy is what Stuke's from. I mean, people have seen him on this pod before. We've never had Danielle, but we've definitely talked about her.
Yeah.
They are the two weirdest people I know. I say that with so much love, for sure.
Yes, of course.
They're like the best people we know. Like,
The
really.
best.
I don't even know how to describe it.
They're just funny and thoughtful and kind
and just super into
fun.
like everything.
The
like
nerdiest things. Like, you could like imagine the nerdiest things in the world, and that's what they like to do with their free time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah,
they make it seem cool.
They do. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to get in to like what they like, and I just can't, or I don't know where to find it.
I don't care.
I'm not a weeb. I can't.
Keep talking about it. Yeah, seriously. Well, here's the thing. I showed up not this Sunday because of Easter, but last Sunday to go do some legs.
Yeah.
And Stuke was building like a Darth Vader Lego set for adults.
Nice.
And the inside of it was like an apartment, but then it was like the full. He has already done like a Stormtrooper and Boba Fett, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was like, "You need some help?" He's like, "No, don't fucking touch it." Essentially, he might have said it nicer. He's like, "Absolutely not, don't touch it."
That's
something
hilarious.
like that.
That's so
like
funny.
You're right. It's your Legos.
When you're talking about
whatever.
Stuke using the like a notebook to like chart his shit, like in my life, my dad was always very into like fitness, so like I was kind of like brought up on like I had ankle weights as like a 6-year-old. Like I was like running around the block. And so like I was always like relatively stronger than most of the kids that I grew up with, just because I had a mustache, the whole thing. You get it.
Yeah, of course.
But when I got to like high school, especially college, there were like people that I met who were kind of like Stuke, like kind of lanky, skinny dude.
Yeah.
And then somehow like they just got a taste of like creatine and fucking just became strong as fuck. So I'm really looking forward to Stuke beating your ass for sure. I don't know.
Happen. But he did. There was a picture Danielle sent like at midnight on his birthday or something like that.
Yeah.
Where he's like with the birthday boy, they're watching a movie or something. And he looked pretty stacked, dude. He was looking pretty good.
I mean, when you have nothing to start out with, like even the littlest gains are going to look ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why can't we be nice?
Like the difference between like a 1 ounce asparagus and a 2 ounce asparagus is probably a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But that being said, Danielle's a fucking beast. Puts both of us to shame on deadlift. Like just
every time I get an alert
reps.
about her completing a workout, I'm like,
yeah,
I guess I'll go take a nap. I don't know. Like I'm just like I feel like discouraged and really happy for her, but also just like I'm a piece of shit.
I definitely missed because they are knowledgeable enough now that I missed the window where I could be like, yeah, watching your fiance have sex with another man is excellent quad exercise. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they would catch on at this point.
Yeah, I couldn't pull that off anymore, unfortunately. So,
well, good for them.
But
I
one of these days,
them.
yeah, me too.
Awesome.
I guess, yeah. Thank you guys for being such good friends, fucking idiots.
God, we've known them for a really long time too.
11-year-old Keith Johnson, who donated his penis or whatever.
Steve Wilson.
Cheers, Steve Wilson. Cheers to you as well, sir.
Nice.
And yeah, that's crazy.
You mentioned something about being a floor hockey coach earlier.
Oh yes, dude. So, okay, so Sawyer signed up for floor hockey through his school, and we had his first practice on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the email, and it was like, if you're interested in coaching, let us know. And I like doing it. I don't know. Just I'm going to be there anyway, so I might as well be out there with Sawyer.
Sure.
And like, I enjoy that kind of stuff anyway. So, so I email back, and I'm just like, hey, if you need me. He's like, show up at 5:30, and we'll talk about it. So, because 6 o'clock was when it started. It was like the first practice where there were no teams. It was just they assessed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that way they could split them up kind of evenly.
Sure.
And so I get there and he's like, yeah, you guys can shoot around. So I brought Sawyer a stick, and I brought a stick for me to just, shoot around or like pass with.
Yeah.
And so they start going, and I jump in goal, and there's like 7 or 8 pucks coming at me from all angles. And one of Sawyer's friends shows up with one of the dads that I really enjoy. His name's Brian.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I'm like, are you coaching? He's like, told me yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, if we can coach together, because there's only 4 teams, like maybe we could be coach and assistant coach, because that's what he said he was looking for.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, sweet. We're going to make it happen. So we get into the assessment. This kid shows up and is trying to play hockey with a goalie stick. And I'm like, I don't know that much about hockey, but I know that that's not going to work so well. So I give him Sawyer's other stick, and I take the goalie stick now because I was already in goal. So now I'm a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So I've got like 20 kids with like 8 pucks, all fighting each other for pucks and shooting. And granted, they're 7 and have never held a hockey stick before, but I'm blocking a lot of these shots, okay? A couple of them are getting in, but only while I'm turned around getting them out of the net, you know what I mean, or whatever.
They don't have the decency to stop shooting while you turn around and get them out of the net.
No, at one point I was like,
hit him in the ass.
Yeah, seriously, they do not stop, and they'll gloat in your face when they score on you.
That's so funny.
There'll be 4 pucks coming from me this way. I'll block all 4, and some kid will have like come from behind the net from the other goal.
Yeah.
and put one in behind me and be like, I got it, let's go. I'm like, all right, here you go. Here's the puck. Get behind the white line. Let's go again. And then I wasn't even waiting for him to shoot. Like, this is supposed to be warming them up for a skills competition. I was checking the pucks out from their sticks, bro. I was poke checking these pucks out, dude. I was not messing around anymore. Because one of them was Sawyer's friend, and I'm like, hey, guys, listen, you might want to practice your passing because it's a lot easier to pass to someone who's open so they can get a shot than weaving in and out of people to score a goal.
Sure.
You know, it's hard to hold on to the puck for that long. And this kid's like, nah, I could probably just weave in and out of people. And I'm like, okay. So every time that kid got the puck for the rest, he didn't score a single fucking goal on me, bro. I was not letting up. But Sawyer had a blast, and so I was like, sweet. I went up to the guy running it, and I'm like, hey, if, at all possible, I'd like to coach with this other guy. He's like, we've got 4 teams and 4 coaches. So I'm like, oh, shit. So now I'm a head coach. I've never played. I played some floor hockey, but I quit in, 4th grade, you know?
Yeah. You didn't lose your poke check game, though. You were ready for that?
No, definitely not. I was big, so they put me in goal just because I covered up a decent amount of surface area.
That's so fucking funny, man.
Oh, yeah, but I was not fucking around. So then they were all right up on me, and so from, the green line, the baseline, to this white line was maybe 8 feet.
Yeah.
So I was like, nobody shoot in front of the white line. Everybody move back.
Were they lifting the puck at all?
Not a lot. A couple kids, but they were also, trying to do, slap shot and then missing the puck and almost slapping a kid in the face with a hard stick.
Yeah.
And so I had to keep being keep your sticks on the ground. Even when you're running with it, no high sticking.
Yeah.
Did you ever play floor hockey?
I never did. I played in gym, when we did for the week that you did that or whatever. But I'll give you a tip for the slap shot. It sounds counterintuitive, but hit the floor 6 inches before the puck and snap the stick through, and you'll just drill one of those kids.
What if I teach my kids how to do slap shots? Yeah. We're just fucking teams up, just knocking them
And when
out.
I say hit it before, if you're going to, if this is the stick and it's gonna go this way to hit it at a 45-degree angle and snap it through. Sawyer's gonna be fucking Fulton Reed at the end of this fucking league.
if we're not knuckle pucking or flying Ving by the end of the season,
that's awesome.
Well, the other dad who's coaching plays on a Thursday night ice hockey league, so
he's gonna have a little bit more info than you.
Well, I'm hoping that he's too complicated, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, hey, good passes, get the ball to the center of the floor and just put it on net. That's all we need.
Yeah.
More shots, more opportunities, okay?
Yeah. Just watch Mighty Ducks.
Corner, center up. Exactly. He's going to be like, all right, we're going to want to rotate the puck down behind the net, run it along the boards.
Cycle, run a pattern. Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's super exciting. I can't wait to hear more about it. Speaking of exciting, the most exciting thing I've ever seen in my life happened on Friday.
Oh, shoot.
So after we got smoked in our softball
donkey
game.
show?
No, after we got smoked in our softball
gross.
game,
Sorry.
a couple of us went over to a casino to presumably gamble. Steph and I brought a $20 bill, and we did not have enough to spend it. We could have obviously. They have more than enough money there. We could have fucking done something, but
sure.
We went to a craps table, which I have never played before.
Dude,
I know it's the one where everybody stands around and everybody blows on the dice and everybody's freaking out about their new shoes and shit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we get there and and it's $25 a round or a fucking roll or whatever the fuck it is. That's the minimum you can bet.
The minimum bet.
And so again,
25.
Yeah, and so again, we only brought 20, so we were out already. We couldn't even fucking play. But
sorry, guys.
This guy that came with us, he started playing. He dropped. I feel weird explaining exactly what happened because I don't know. What if he has somebody that's going to be upset that he's gambling all of their mortgage away? But
luckily, if it's not Mary Roberts, they're not going to listen to this podcast.
She was there.
Oh, okay. So then we're good. Go ahead.
So we're there, and he drops $500 bills to cash in. So they give him all of the chips that equal $500, and guess how many chips it is? Like 12. Like it's fucking, it is the smallest little stack. And I was like, holy fuck. And so he starts putting some shit, around, and they're rolling, and I have no idea what's happening, and I am fucking in podcast mode at this point. I'm like, does anybody know how to play? Is there a brochure? Like, I'm fucking being stupid.
Of course.
And this one guy that worked there was actually trying to explain how to play, and I was almost joking, dude. Like, I don't have time for you to sit down and explain the nuances.
Well, you want to ride the wave. Dude. Don't get snake eyes.
For real. He's like, see this one right here on the board? There's 16 ways to win, but 20 ways to lose. So that's your best bet. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to remember this. So anyway, this dude starts playing. I don't really understand what's happening, but I know that he's winning. He's not losing, because you only lose when a 7 is rolled, I believe. Or 11.
Maybe.
I couldn't understand fully, but he's not losing. And so suddenly, like, that little stack of chips that he has is getting a little bit bigger. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's good for him. I hope he wins. For me, when I gamble, if I make like $6, I'm like, woo! Got it. Like, let's head out. Like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Quarter pounder on me, you know?
Yeah. And so he kept going. And, dude, over time, I think he played for like 30 minutes maybe. And all of a sudden I realized his stack is like triple the size of what he had. And then he also has different colored chips. Like he has some black chips now that are worth 100 versus 25.
They're a little bit bigger, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? He just keeps going. That guy played for like 22 minutes and won $2,200 or whatever the fuck it was. It was like $2,300 basically. So he won $1,800 in 12 minutes. Okay, I keep reducing the time that he played every time. So
35 seconds. Yeah. Holy shit.
For real. It was so exciting though, man. It was insane. I couldn't even I couldn't stop. Like, I was like obviously cheering for him, but I was nervous, right? I don't want him to lose. So like, dude, it was insane. And then the whole time I was like, I wonder if I could get some of that money.
Yeah, well, you were there cheering him on. That's a big part of it.
I'm kind of hungry. Maybe we can throw some enchiladas my way. Maybe.
Yeah, right. Like, at least buy us a round of Mountain Dews or something. Like Baja Blast, preferably.
He was pumped for sure. He was like all smiles, obviously. So I went up to him afterwards and I was like, dude, it doesn't seem like the house ever wins. And he was like, no, they win. They win their share. And I was like, what do you mean? I just saw 50 rolls and 3 times they won. And he's like, you could easily lose like $400 in 2 seconds if you're doing, he's like, I almost didn't play because 25 is a lot to spend on each, whatever you're trying to do. But it was awesome, dude. I'm going to for sure not play that game because I don't know how to play, first of all. No. But it's also, it seemed like it was an easy win. I don't know. Maybe everybody else can let me know in the comments.
I always thought, because you'd see like Ocean's 11 and they'll like do a casino scene where they're around a craps table and someone will, like you said, Papa needs a new pair of shoes, whatever, throw the dice.
Yeah.
And in the movies, they're always like, woohoo! Everyone's screaming and cheering.
Yeah.
That's really the way that it is in a casino. Like,
there was like 6 other people that were like freaking out, just like he wasn't really freaking out because he was like, I'm winning a shitload of money. I'm just going to stay calm, I think. I don't know. But other people were yelling.
I've watched like YouTube videos on how to play craps because I want to play.
Yeah.
Because it seems so exciting when you're there.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I've told you I like to play blackjack. I like the $5 table though, where they're $5 hands because I don't want to play 4 hands of blackjack and lose $100.
For real.
I'll lose 100, but I want to play for an hour and a half. That's kind of your little experience. With craps though, they say if you're gonna win money quickly, that's where you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I always do the thing like, in 8th grade when a slow song would come on at dances and like the cool guys would dance with their girlfriends and then like the chubby guys would sing to all their friends, and like awkwardly walk around. That's what I'm at the craps table. Like I'm walking around the outside, like just trying to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Like maybe a spot opens up and I take a chance, but probably not. I'm just going to play it safe and watch other people do it.
We were standing around like one of the ends of the table because I've never been able to watch either. That's the other thing. Like you
Yeah.
said, there's always 1,000 people around. I always want to know what the hell
Yes.
that's going on. So we were able to watch, and this one dude, maybe 5 minutes before the other guy cashed out, was like, "Hey, can I fit in there?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, man, no worries. Like I'm not even playing. I'm just making stupid comments this whole time and hoping that he doesn't lose." And his chips, he had like 6.5 chips, like the tiniest fucking stack. And I was like, for some reason, now I'm bonded with this other guy. Like we won that money, right?
Yep.
And so I'm literally like, "Oh, see that guy right there? Yeah, he won like $1,800." And this guy's like, "Oh yeah, I've been playing a couple hours, but I'm gonna bring my stack up or something like that." And I was like, "He's been playing for 14 minutes." Like I was like bragging for my friend.
You're like, hey, don't worry, bud. The table's hot.
Yeah,
all right?
Yeah. I was like, "You came at the wrong time. If you would have showed up a couple of minutes ago, because again, he's been playing for 6 minutes, he would for sure, dude. It was awesome, and I couldn't stop like thinking about it. So like my weekend was just insane. I had sad softball, exciting craps. We went out for dinner with Christian and Jared. We didn't even bring that up. We got the worst service of all fucking time, which is not that different for us. And then Sunday we had the Aces. It's Easter. Like it was a fucking blast. I'm exhausted at this point though. It's Monday night, so I'm tired.
Hey, listen. Well, two things. First thing, what up, Kristen and Jared? Mostly Kristen, Jared, but also, Jared posted a picture of him working out with a towel on his head.
Oh.
Bald people problems, bro. That's what comes out of nowhere. But yeah, I think if there's anything we can take from this podcast, it's something you just said that really rings true.
Yep.
Which is you always want to have awesome craps. You know what I mean? Like that's I think the main takeaway. It's Easter, so
it's Easter. That's what you got to know. Craps. And I think that's where we need to wrap it up. This one went a little long. Hopefully
I'll never wrap it up. I don't even say
hopefully
the words
we
to
got
me.
some people to stick around and maybe get 90 subscribers at the end of this. But send us an email, twofuckingidiotspod@gmail.com. Check out the website, even though it's not that great, but check it out.
twofuckingidiots.com.
And yeah, thanks for sticking around. Hopefully, God, we're good at this.
77 episodes, dude. That's crazy.
Somebody asked me on Sunday, they were like, "How is your podcast going?" I was like, "We have 76 episodes." And they seem very impressed by that, which I'm not. Yeah. Sort of. Like I am.
Are we?
But I like expect more. Like I'll feel good when I'm like, yeah, we have 1,345 episodes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
here's my question.
What's up?
Like, you know how podcasts come in seasons, so like take a couple of weeks off here and there?
Yeah.
Last time, I feel like we didn't do that, and it kind of like, should we take a week off just to feel legit, or like...
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if we can handle it. There's 6.5 fans that would be upset about that.
Man, maybe we could record 2 1 week, and then, it just feels like then we could be like, we're back from vacation or something stupid.
You know what we should do? We should record one legit one and then change our clothes and then record one where we don't really specifically mention any specific events, but kind of seem like a week has passed. You know what I mean?
We just
be like, man, that predicament was
Yeah.
insane. I can't believe. Tell me more about it. Just try to guess.
The anniversary of the day I lost my virginity comes up next month. And I celebrate it every year, so maybe we'll do it. So
all right. Sounds good.
All righty.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yep.
I guess just peace, right?
Fuck the fuck off. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Happy or sad, it's story time with 2 fucking idiots.
God damn it, dude.
I'm still pretty drained from the weekend, but I think that was pretty good.
No, I thought it was fun. I think, remember we talked about it, like how I don't like to use the same punchline twice. So, like, when we talk before the pod, we talk for, 12 minutes maybe and just kind of lay out a few minor, things.
Yeah.
And for some reason on the fly during the pod, I feel obligated to give you another punchline versus what I just told you. And I feel like I'm fucking good at it. I don't know. I feel like I say some things where I'm like, oh man, I said that earlier. He's gonna fucking think less of me. I better come up with a banger next time.
Dude, seriously. I agree. Or like when we're talking before the podcast, I'll be like, oh, we could talk about this. And I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah.
Like I gotta save the rest for the podcast.
Yeah.
But I gotta say that the couple times throughout the episode where we'll start talking about something that we already know about.
Yeah.
But I want it to be like, I don't want to act like I know it because I'm still excited about what's coming just for other reasons. I'm so excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
I'll like pretend I haven't heard about it, you know?
Well, to be fair, we really don't know like the entire story for the most part. It's just like a tidbit. So
true.
Yeah.
And we never know what's coming, so then it's like it happens, and I don't want to be like, oh yeah, and then you lost 18-2, you know, because that would just ruin the whole story.
Yeah, yeah.
But I always feel like I'm lying, you know, just for that 1 second.
It's a show. It's a show.
It is for entertainment, so.
Yeah. Hope you like that one, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, you son of a bitch, dude. He loves this. We were making fun of how Mr. Popular you are this weekend while we were working. We're like,
I'm busy, dude. I don't know. I'm just I can't stop. So,
well, thanks for making time for us, Illinois folks. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I'll try to make more time. You know what I mean? I'll just try.
Don't patronize me, you son of a bitch.
What do you want to do?
All right. Well, I don't know. There's really nothing to plug, right?
Remember the one we went really fast? We both talked.
And just
we were like, anyway, just like
let's do it.
Do you want to do that one again?
Sure.
Let's
just both randomly talk about exciting things that we talked about on the pod that we enjoyed, and then
at the same time.
Yeah,
fast?
It'll be like 15. Yeah, just 15, 20 seconds. Okay.
How fast are we talking?
I think we could talk like just excited. We don't have to like.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like gibberish, but
yeah, just like I'm really excited about what we're talking about right now, and we're both going same time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. See you later.
Did not know that was gonna be for him. All right, ready?